Welcome to Learn and Do with Peter on March 15th, 2024. And we were just kind of going over the things that are top of mind for me and might be interesting to talk about. Do folks have other things that burning questions about AI? Why Pete has a weird dolphin on his screen? Um, uh, I hadn't noticed how weird this dolphin looks. Um, you know, questions, concerns, thoughts.
I have a brilliant idea, and I
Yes.
and I have what I hope is a really simple question. Um, which would you like first?
Your choice, if that's okay.
Okay. The simple question is, I know we had talked last time about with the character reference, that it seems to work best or almost exclusively with images that have already been produced in Midjourney. Is that
Yep.
accurate? But I think I got it to do it with something that wasn't
Well,
produced in Midjourney.
the guidance from the Midjourney CEO is it works best with things
Okay,
created in Midjourney. Um,
okay,
I heard from somebody else who was trying it with photos and they were having problems with it. I haven't tried anything that's not Midjourney.
okay.
Um,
My my
does that answer your
question?
question?
No,
You're
that
doing
actually
great.
was.
So
Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. My question was, actually, I think I can turn on my camera. Ever. There's no cat scratches. Um, my question was actually the simple one, I hope. When I have all of these, images saved onto my camera roll, and I keep it's like hit or miss about as to whether I can remember how to get it into Midjourney so that then it has the code that I can then use as the CREF.
yep.
What's the best way to do that?
That is a great question, and I kind of wanted to have that on the list.
Okay, okay. Then
Um,
you don't have to do it now. That was my question, and then don't let me forget my brilliant idea.
okay. Let's definitely
Okay,
cover that one. And I'm not sure. I know
okay,
everyone here isn't a Midjourney person, but this one is a burning question, and it's really hard for Midjourney folks. And it's more useful now with CREF. So,
okay.
what's your brilliant idea, Claire?
It's my brilliant naming idea. Salamander, like, didn't you say you were thinking about doing one for like images?
Yes,
Okay, okay, okay. Listen, Eye of Newt.
Eye of Newt. Spelled the regular way.
In EWT. So like a newt is a kind of salamander, like
Yeah,
eye
yeah,
of newt,
yeah. It's
and it's
brilliant. I
magic,
love it.
and it's
I
like,
love it.
okay, so I don't have to sell you then. Okay, all right,
Or image
you can see the
generate.
brilliance.
I can. Uh, some of the background. The first little, uh, actually, the first little thing I had ChatGPT write for the OpenAI API was I called it Sylph, and I poked around for a while and got Sylph. Sylph is kind of some kind of wood sprite or something like that. I'd have to look it up.
Right.
Um, so then when I wrote a similar thing, but it gives an image to OpenAI to describe. So that one is called Pixie,
Mm.
kind of in the same thing. So then I got Salamander by asking, I said, okay, I've got Pixie, Sylph. What's the next one? And it said, well, it came up with a couple of answers and it came up with Salamander as a good next one. So I love Eye of Newt. This is brilliant. It is indeed a
Thank you.
brilliant idea, Claire.
You don't even have to use it. I just needed to have it, acknowledged that it was brilliant, and I'm good now.
What do you think if we shorten it to Newt? Would that be okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Um, Programmers have significant problems with spaces because of
Yeah.
units. Um,
So I have one question that may
yes.
also result in uh, a suggestion. Is there a place within the Learn and Do with Peter as it exists in your AI 101, I think would be the place to look, that has like a running list of all of the different AIs that keep showing up, different, if it's, so OpenAI has ChatGPT. They also are going to launch a video one, which the name is eluding me. Is there a place
Sora.
that we
Sora.
have within this to keep a running list? Because when I show up at the meeting the other night for the entire group, and Kyle puts out all of the new stuff that just has shown up, and we were talking about being overwhelmed.
Yep.
I saw that. I can go back and I can look at it, look for it there. But if you're new and you're coming in and you're starting, like, just to have a place and say, okay, ChatGPT is great, but it's one of what has got to be,
Yep.
50 now. And we don't need to cover all of them in depth, but I think it might be, I would like it if there was a place. So if it exists already, if you can guide me there, if not, if we can slowly work toward creating one, I would make that suggestion. And that doesn't seem to fit, I will also, maybe I'll do it on my own, but just so many. Even if all we did was update it each time, honestly, there'd be more each time.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think
Go ahead,
there's
Claire.
that place in the AI salon where Kyle has put together the
Yeah.
he's like curated the list of the
Okay.
top ones from his experience. And so it's updated regularly, and ones that used to be on top are now no longer even on the list. But it's not, my understanding is it's not anywhere near like all 50 of the cool ones. It's like the top
Yeah, it's
4
very
or 8
curated,
or
which
something.
is
Yeah.
useful.
Well, even this, I hadn't seen this. So even this is good for me.
Let's
certainly a good point.
Kyle does a great job at this, and we don't need to replace it, but let's also have a list on the AI 101 website. Let's see. So now it's called AI Launchpad and Tools. I think it's been called something else, but let's also keep a list, learn and do list. Another thing is, I think I should change the URL for this and the name to be learn and do, but haven't thought too much about that, other than it should probably be done. And then, change all the references to it in here. For what it's worth, doing such a thing in the website wouldn't take too much time, and would be a good exercise or something. I wonder, Scott, do you know, do you do GitHub? I guess is the question I want to ask.
I have a GitHub account, but I have never done anything with it. I was using ChatGPT to try to develop an app, and it told me I needed one, and so it helped guide me through the process of getting one.
So sweet of it.
Yeah.
I think. I'm being a little bit flip. I don't know. This is if you. It's easy to add people to be maintainers of this, but they have to hook up through GitHub, basically. So you're about, one of 3 steps away from being able to edit this website live. I don't know about live, almost live. Welcome, Nisha. I hope that's a good way to pronounce your name.
Yeah, hi.
Um,
my first time joining this group.
Welcome. We're still kind of deciding what we might talk about, and this is the list of things. And let me, not that you have to go to this URL, but this website, but let me put it in the chat. And if you go there, you'll see a screen like this. You don't have to log in. It might look like it pops up a thing that says you have to log in, but you don't. And then you can look at both of these sides, which are the same except they're a little different, or you can just click the eye and then just look at this. And this will change as I type stuff in here. Or you can type on this if you want. Nisha, do you have any questions like open loops that you've got for AI that might be
Yeah,
good
I mean, is
for-
this more of a just a Q&A kind of format of class, or is there topics?
We usually we kind of do some Q&A stuff, and then I pick I guess I pick for the team what we're going to focus on, and sometimes that's something that's more interesting to me. Well, sometimes it's always interesting to somebody, but sometimes I get a little bit involved in a very particular thing, which may not be.
I mean, and is
interesting
it
to everybody.
mostly images, or is it workflow, or is it
It is mostly images, image generators and LLMs, and we go off. I hope you can see the screen. I'm kind of showing my screen. A thing that we especially do is, let me get to a different page here. We talk about image generators and LLMs, and then I've got a hypothesis that to use image generators and LLMs well, because everything is still kind of on the bleeding edge, it's really good to know some basic computer stuff. And so a lot of what I try to teach here is actually basic computer stuff, like how to use a personal knowledge manager.
how to use a what?
Something called a personal knowledge manager.
Oh,
It's kind of like the modern equivalent of a experimenter's notebook. So, you know, as you're doing stuff, as you're doing crazy experiments with your image generation, you should be keeping notes about what works and what doesn't work.
okay.
As you're having conversations with ChatGPT, there's a way to save them all, so you can search through them later and, you know, find the ones that you used a couple months ago, that prompt that was really great, that kind of stuff. So I do a fair bit of like basic computer stuff, which doesn't seem like it's relevant to AI, except that I think it really is. So.
Okay.
And how about
but
you?
I do. So I'm actually in film school right now, and I've been using a good bit of AI for different kinds of projects. So I was kind of interested in like creating a demo reel right now, about with motion. I don't know if you do any motion
I
video.
do a bit of video myself, but I don't do much. I haven't done much AI video, so I can't help very much there.
There's another guild for that too.
Yeah.
Oh, is there?
Uh-huh.
What's it called?
It's on the in the AI
called
salon.
Video
Okay.
and animation.
Oh, there is. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and
And
Sherry will help you out because she's really, really been experimenting with video like crazy. So just post a help question in the help section, and I'm sure Sherry will zoom in there and answer your question if it's about video.
Okay, I
So-
mean, I see. Oh, video and animation. Is that the group? Is that the guild?
that's the
Yep.
guild, yeah. And
Okay,
then RJ,
awesome.
you're talking about ask for help?
Yeah, I was going to say, if she had a question, then she could ask their question in the help question section. Yeah, ask for help section right there. Yeah. And then my guess is if you mention a video question, Sherry will zoom in there and answer it because she really is active on the mighty networks that we have and is crazy about video. She's been doing a lot of video stuff.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, I'm just looking at her TikTok that was on the guild. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, well, well then I don't have any poignant questions. I might just stay on for a little bit and jump off.
Yeah, sounds great.
If that's okay. And but I appreciate certainly the insights on other things to look at too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Anita. So I wonder, I'm trying to think of a way to kind of vote. An interesting thing I did with Salamander, yeah, actually, I don't need to I did a interesting interface thing with Salamander, but we don't have to go there. So so I think the awesome things would be actually working on that, creating a list of top AIs in the website, and that'll exercise a couple different things that are useful to know. And then how to get images into Midjourney would be good to get down on video and share that. And then I'm excited about Salamander, but I bet nobody else or very few people are.
What is Salamander?
Salamander
Well,
was
I'm sorry. I just want to
Go
say
ahead.
that I think that a lot of people in our Mighty Networks AI Salon would be interested in it if it's working to the point where
It's
they can use
usable.
it for image generation and
Ah,
save money.
yeah. And Anita, you were the one that asked. Salamander was the idea that we could write a quick, simple app to interface with OpenAI and maybe other ChatGPT and maybe other LLMs and image generators, and let people have people use that with their API keys rather than a $20 a month account. So then it would cost pennies instead of tens of dollars to do things like generate images with DALL-E or use ChatGPT. It's part of the reason I've got, so another hypothesis I've got is that it's useful for many people, maybe not everybody, but many people should be using ChatGPT to write little Python applications. For instance, I came up with the idea, I think this week, of taking two image prompts, and then putting them together word by word, interleaving them. And that does interesting things when you give that new prompt to the image generator. So it was super easy for me to go over and say, ChatGPT, write me a Python program that does this, and then it's done, you know. And I'd like to teach more people how to do that, or have more people do it. And I think it's not that hard, even though I know it's some stuff. Let me also talk about something that's, let me talk about personal bravery and AI. I realized an interesting thing. I think each of you, when you come here, is very brave. for going, I'm going to go listen to Pete talk for a while. And he's always talking about something that I almost know what he's talking about, but not quite. And so I really appreciate that it takes a lot of like, you know, bravery to come here and go, well, let's dive in. And that's kind of true of AI Salon in general. There's a lot of bravery in AI Salon. We get a lot done that way by just going for it. And it also made me, thinking about it that way, made me kind of think that something I feel now with an LLM, I know that I can do a little bit more than I ought to be able to do if I just ask ChatGPT how to do it, right? Like Scott got signed up for a GitHub account and started using GitHub because, you know, ChatGPT says, hey, here's how to do it. And he could keep asking it more, you know, how do I do this in GitHub and how do I do that? So it's kind of interesting. A AI assistant, especially an LLM, I guess, helps you be a little bit more brave. And not everybody knows how to take advantage of that. Because they kind of get, you know, you get taught in school not to be brave, to be quiet instead, and you get taught in work, you know, hey, don't do things that you think, just do the things that we want you to. So I thought it was cool that AI is like a personal bravery tool. I don't know if that rings any bells or thoughts for anybody.
It definitely did for me. I've always been the outspoken person at work, but I've always kind of hesitated to share like on social media,
Mhm.
especially like LinkedIn and stuff. And recently, through the irregulars and other people communicating with AI, I used it to kind of gauge the reaction, like I guess rate my posts before posting them, and
Yep.
started actively posting on LinkedIn, which is way outside my comfort zone, but it's been really helpful and helped me connect with people that I had been trying to connect with previously, in messages and stuff. So it's been kind of neat to use. Help.
Yep.
I was thinking as you were talking about being brave and how we're raised, and thinking that for many people, and I assume, and certainly for me, the idea of making mistakes is just painful.
Yeah.
And so what that ends up doing, of course, is limiting you because you stick with the things that you know will work. I think you were just saying, and it really cuts down on your willingness and ability to stretch. And I've really been trying to stretch, which yeah, with laughable results in some cases, but that's okay. And just trying to kind of change my whole mindset from being like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And it certainly won't be perfect, but
Yeah.
that's a hard, 60 some years of training. Otherwise, it's hard to overcome.
Yep.
It's also nice that it screws up. I mean, whenever you think about generative AI and like it taking over your job or whatever, the fear mongering out there, but the fact that like it screws up sometimes and then it's like, oh yeah, like my bad. That makes me feel better as a person, oddly, because everybody makes mistakes, including these very advanced systems, which is kind of neat.
I like it.
It's interesting that you use bravery. What it strikes me as is like so it feeds my curiosity, or it helps to
Yeah.
sate my curiosity. And I remember as a kid being told like there were no stupid questions, except that's not really what they meant. They really meant just keep quiet because you have
Yep.
stupid questions. Yet the AI doesn't care. It doesn't care about my saucy language. It doesn't care about the idiocy of my question. It doesn't judge anything, and
Yep.
it makes me more curious. Like because I'm just like, oh, I can just let this thing rip constantly. So for me,
That-
it feels less like bravery and a little more like this lovely curiosity. It just feeds it. It's
Like a
awesome.
curiosity engine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Somebody said on the Tuesday call, somebody said curiosity quotient, right? I think.
Yeah, that was Sam, my buddy Sam. He's a cool guy. It's
That
the
was cool.
curiosity, yeah, the curiosity quotient, like an IQ quotient or emotional intelligence quotient. But
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of us, I think, are really spurred on by curiosity. But I think a lot of us also have the chase the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
And a lot of us might be procrastinating a lot too by chasing this AI stuff because we just get sucked into the hype and it sort of becomes an overwhelming attraction to, follow something really cool and interesting and amazing and historic, and also not have to do other things that we perhaps should be doing.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I was hoping if Dr. Claire could maybe, either now or in the future, help us as an AI salon deal with that, because I think a lot of us have um, psychological issues associated with why we're using AI, why we're hooking up with people to chat about AI. And there's so many dimensions to that. There's the potential fear of job loss. There's the potential, some people are worried about even crazier things like, and,
Mhm.
AI wiping out humanity, but I think that's going a bit far. But some people actually do have that, concern. And I think one reason a lot of people are here and also follow Kyle or other AI websites is because of for social reasons. They want to have social network to hook up with and chat about all these crazy new developments that are happening in technology and that are going to drastically change the world going forward and make us have to think about whole crazy topics that were only science fiction up until now, like artificial intelligence being smarter than us and being able to talk to it. And so I think there's most of us are here primarily for emotional reasons, because our emotions are so hyped up about the amazing things that you can do with AI and and all the other reasons I mentioned too. So I just thought that I personally think we should have um, a separate guild subsection in the social guild section that's sort of for personal AI or AI. Um, I had some names written down, but I can't remember them right now. But a place for people to chat about their AI issues that are, personal, psychological, personal development, concerns. Anyway, I've been talking too much. Sorry, I'll shut up.
RJ,
Cool
you made
idea.
some good points though, because like a lot of the job market currently has been driven by need versus passion. And I think a lot of AI has opened up the doors for people to follow more on their passions, like what they liked to do. For instance, the lady that does pottery, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. She wants to
Corey.
reach more people, but she's very passionate about pottery, and that has driven her to be able to accomplish a lot more, even while chasing the shiny objects. It's really grown her skill set, and we need a way to be able to translate those passions or those shiny object chasing, to translate that to current job markets. And I think AI, there's a way for us to do that. It's just, I don't think we're there. I haven't fully made it there yet, I guess. But I'm still, yeah, I'm procrastinating things I probably should be doing by chasing the shiny objects as well. But it's growth for later, so that's how I'm justifying it.
Me too. Thanks, folks. I appreciate that conversation. And maybe that's something I guess I kind of want to wind some of this into, why we're using AI and what we can use it for and things like that. So I like the conversation. I want to kind of keep digging into it. Let's see. We've got another 50 minutes or so. Let's definitely cover Midjourney, and if it's okay, let's work on this. We don't have to do all of it, but we could get a list of top AIs started, and that would be a good kind of practice thing, because we would be using Obsidian a little bit, among other things. So let's start doing this and do that for maybe 20 minutes. And then we can take a break and do some fun Midjourney stuff, maybe. So to get this started, let me show you how we'll get this notes page into the website. And then we'll do something kind of similar to maybe start a new page in the website. So the way that works, the website, the way I edit the website is with Obsidian. Quelle surprise is the way you say how surprising in French. And you can see this is all the pages in the website. Some of them are in folders. And as you might know, you can right click on any of those things and look in Finder or in File Explorer, Windows Explorer. These are just files. So that's great. So there's a place for live session notes already. And all I need to do is to get these notes in this folder, which isn't that hard actually. And I can do this now and then update it later. So we'll just do it now so to see how it works. What I want to do is save this as Markdown, download it as Markdown. Hey, Andre. Okay, so that just clicking that was enough to download it as a file. And now those notes are on my computer. So now I can drag and drop them over to this folder, like I do any other files on my computer. And then Obsidian will note that change and they're here. And then to get this on the website, I type a little message about what the changes are. Look at the changes here in this list of changes. And I can tell we could dig more into what all these little things mean, but it means I can tell that this is an added file. If I edited a file, then I would be able to tell that too, but I didn't. And then I'll just click this button that says push it to the cloud. And about 30 seconds from now, so that moved it to GitHub, and then GitHub told another website, another service called Netlify, hey, there's new stuff on this. And then Netlify this is all like API stuff in the background. Netlify is like, oh, wow, what are the changes? And so it grabbed all the files again. And now it's running a little script that I wrote that turns Markdown pages into HTML. And if I've talked long enough, then it might be on this web page or this website. And the way I can check the last time it was built, the script I set up says what time it was updated. So it hasn't built yet. But if I reload it a couple times, there, now it's built. and I can go to the list of all the pages, and theoretically that one's at the top. And so now, poof, like magic, the notes that were here that I've been typing are on this web page. Any questions?
Is there an easier way to sort of accomplish this for beginners? So like maybe not this way, but an alternate way? So that let's say some people had some stuff that they wanted to share with the rest of the AI salon. And if there was like a simple wiki kind of thing where somebody could just go to that wiki site and they could type in the thing that they want to share, and then it would be there. And like it would be like super easy, like Apple invented it, or
Yep.
it'd be like you just do it. It's like you don't have to do 100 steps and be a PhD. It was like bang. It's beginner's level is what I'm saying. This
Yep.
would be good for admin kind of things, but for beginner level, it'd be cool if there was another way to go right into it.
Yep. It's a great question, RJ. And my first answer is, I know that looked complicated, and I know it's a little bit complicated, but it's not as complicated as it's not an admin level thing. And actually, RJ, you've got a good example of this. I know on the homepage of this, you've got a list of links too. So it was probably pretty easy for you to set up this page. I mean, it's a lot of work. You collected a lot of information here, but you didn't have to do any admin kind of stuff to get it up on, Gila site, which is cool.
Well, I will have to say it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, and I would not recommend people do this. And I found some alternatives. I found some alternatives that if you do a Control F and you go search for Collaborate, I found, or Cool Tools in the Collaborate section there. I think you almost had it. Cool. Just do like Cool Tools.
Yeah, right
search.
here,
All right.
yep.
So yeah, there's if you go down towards the bottom of those. Okay, so you can essentially create an instant website with a lot of these things, and people could collaborate, they could share, and so the bottom one, ethercalc.net, you can make an instant spreadsheet and people can share on it instantly. And I don't know how long the link lasts, but so for in a meeting, that would be a cool way if people wanted to like list their things that they're working. If you just click on create a spreadsheet, it'll create one. And then you'll get a link, and then you can share that link, and it's live, like just like your HackMD is live, this is live. And then there's other versions. So essentially what you're doing is you're creating an instantaneous website by doing that. And it's a shareable one. And you can set it up so that people have passwords just like you can with your HackMD, except there's no like markdown language requirement. You just need to be able to type in a box. So. And there's other tools too that I list there too, besides that one, that'll do essentially the same thing. One of them I showed you earlier, which was the write URL one. That one will collaborate, and the one below that is like a simpler version. So you can basically create instantaneous websites, and I think those the links last. So there's a lot of alternative ways to enable people to share information, and you're a wiki guy, so I think that you would probably know how to set up a wiki where people just go in, they enter their
Yep.
password, and bang, they could just do it, and they don't have to do any other extraneous things.
Yep. It's EtherCalc is an interesting thing. I kind of know EtherCalc kind of got started in, well, adjacent to something that I was working on, maybe is a way to say it. You'll notice it looked a lot like this one, Meeting Words. It's kind of, there's some underlying similar software going on. Meeting Words is kind of like HackMD. So instead of a spreadsheet, it's just a text doc. I'll share this link, but don't feel like we won't use it much. So the funny thing is, Meeting Words is a server that I run and have been running for
Wow,
10,
that's
11,
a
12 years.
coincidence. Wow.
So and you can, whoever joined, you can click in the box that's you on the top and type your name or not, either way. And a cool thing about Meeting Words, I don't know if I've seen this for a while, but it used to highlight, you could see who wrote what by what color. So so any of these, Meeting Words is actually pretty good. It's running really old software. It's not my software, it's a software called Etherpad. And that's why this is called EtherCalc. It's kind of inspired by Etherpad. The collaborative, I don't know how to clear the Zoom whiteboard, by the way. Thanks. So these let's see, even Google Docs. So another way to do it is Google Docs, right? It's a little bit hard to do the thing that we've got here, where what if I wanted, I didn't want one page, but I wanted like a couple pages. And once you have like a couple pages, then you might as well have lots of pages. So it's really easy here to go back and forth between the different meeting notes, and it's also really easy to search for all the pages with something on them. So back to your question, RJ, if you can fit on one page, actually Meeting Words is a little bit better than HackMD because it's so basic. I have to say that this is, I've been running this for, I think more than a decade at this point. It doesn't really make money. Once in a while, somebody will throw me a little tip, like literally, a few dollars. So altogether, this has brought in, $10 or $15, and it's cost a lot more than that. So the upshot is I don't maintain this very well. The software is super old and actually doesn't exist anymore, kind of. And every once in a while it goes down, and if I don't notice it, it stays down for a couple of days, and people use it, but it's like, Pete, actually they don't know me. A bunch of people who use it don't know me at all, but their note is unavailable for a while. So anyway, if it's a single page, you can use something, a collaborative text editor, and then you have to hope that it's going to stay around for a while. And Meeting Words doesn't promise that it will, but in practice it does, except when it doesn't. If you want more, like, it's a little bit easier for people to use Google Docs because lots of people know Google Docs, but it's a little bit harder because you have to kind of sign into Google, and And again, if you want more than one page. So RJ, you're right. I've done a lot of wiki stuff actually, and it would be nice if you could just click a button on here that says edit this page and type stuff. And in fact, in our roadmap within the next few months, I think we'll have the start of that. We'll have a button that says edit this page. It's going to go to GitHub, for better or for worse. It's gonna do it these steps, but just in a single button. It's gonna get to this page, and then it'll say click the little pencil and type what you want, and then click save. So I'm working on that with this website system. Wikis in general, there's some software that there's lots of wiki software. It turns out to get tricky. Having multiple pages gets tricky, and then making sure that spammers don't come and load the website up with junk is tricky. So you have to have a login, and then as soon as you have a login, there's problems like if somebody forgets their password, they have to be able to recover their password, and it just gets more and more complicated. The system that I've got here to maintain this, I could, it might feel like it's admin level, but it's not really. It's a pretty simple set of steps that let somebody who asks to edit these pages. It's not that hard. And it's shared learning, the same things that you learn to maintain this website, you also can use to maintain your Obsidian notes, your personal notes, and your ChatGPT conversations, and yada yada. So if you learn a little bit, you get lots of return with this whole Obsidian massive wiki thing. So I wish I had a better answer. I wish, in the olden days, for a short amount of time, for a few years, there were a bunch of wikis on the web, and you could go and just edit them, and they got killed by spam, basically. And also a desire to get fancier and fancier. It's also tempting to build more capabilities into it. I guess I started making a list of creating an updating website. So the thing I'm using is called Massive Wiki. It's my project, and with a few other people. Notion would work as well. Notion costs money, and then WordPress kind of costs money. Massive Wiki generally doesn't cost money if you're doing public stuff. One of the big problems with any of these is that login thing. And then another problem with even something like Meeting Words, which is super simple, if you give that link to somebody else, they won't understand that this isn't a website that you own. It's just your single page. So I guess the thing I learned when I was building wiki software, and Massive Wiki is kind of wiki software and also a website generator. The thing I learned is that very few people edit a wiki, and many people want to read a wiki. So right now the balance for Massive Wiki is you have to learn a little bit of stuff to edit it. And you don't have to learn anything to use it as a website. So it looks like a website, feels like a website. It's got affordances like search and browse like a website. So it's balanced to be useful for most people, even if they haven't been trained on what a wiki is, or what, why you would collaborate, or why you would edit a thing. So there you go. Let me get back to updating the site to have a section for a list of the top AIs, or whatever section. One of the things that needs help is this right here. This has got very simple site navigation. This whole sidebar thing is just another page. in Obsidian or a page in the wiki, depending on how you want to say it. So this you can edit too. It's getting to the point where over here, I should have a thing that says live session recordings and have a page that just lists these, and then maybe a thing that says topics, and then maybe a page that says whatever we were calling this, top AIs, click here or something like that, basically. So to come back to Scott's question, could we have a space on this page, on this website? The way that we would do that is go to Obsidian and make a new page and then put a link in the sidebar and then click this upload thing again and poof, you're done. So let's do that real quick. So this is all under the, let me try to show two things at once. So this is the website view and this is the Obsidian view of editing the website. So this site navigation thing happens over here. So if I want to make another, I'm going to make another section called AI topics. And then we'll put a link here to maybe top LLMs and top image generators. Scott, if you're around, feel free to kibitz.
Yeah, the only other grouping that I can think of, yeah, if you want to separate out the up and coming video generators, or if you want to put that in with the image, that's fine. It just seems like there's a bunch of those that are rolling out or in some sort of beta phase. But
Yeah, so I wonder, should these be two separate pages on the website, LLMs and image generators, or there should probably be just, I think there should be just one page, right?
I agree. I just meant if there's another category that they should separate into,
AI. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the
So,
page makes sense. Just
so,
I'm personally,
so
I'm
if,
looking for a listing that we can update as these things just keep coming at us and say, okay, here's a new one. People can explore it.
so if I call that top AIs, if that shows up over here, would that kind of work? Does that make sense? Or
It's
AI
sufficient,
engines or
certainly.
AI tools?
Yeah.
What
I
would
mean,
we
just
call
top
that?
AIs is fine by me. It's
Okay,
sufficient for me.
let's do that. So Obsidian has this cool thing where I can type a link to a page that doesn't exist yet, and you can tell it's a little bit lighter colored. So you can do it either way. You can create the page and then put the link, or you can make the link and create the page. And so I did it that other way. So now I'm going to click on this page. And then we'll make sections for so I'm going to make this bigger now. Um, so I could be typing this on HackMD and then other people could be typing at the same time. And if we practice that a little bit, that would be a thing that we would be doing. I do that with some of my other folks I work with. It's really hard for me not to put Midjourney on the top, but okay, how's my list looking? What should I add here? Anywhere?
Why is Midjourney not on top? I got confused at that part.
Thanks, Claire. I don't know. I think Dolly is more popular. It's more free. I don't know. So Runway is a video generator or a image generator? Or yes.
Yeah, it's kind of both. I mean, the videos are they're very short. It certainly isn't anything like what Sora has shown it's going to be. But it's adding some level of motion control to that I don't see with the other ones with the straight image generator. But I don't know.
I'm gonna put Runway and video generators for now.
So would you put Leonardo and iDiagram under there too?
Yep.
And under the video generators?
Oh,
Wait, no. Yeah,
ideogram is
no, not iDiagram, sorry.
so Leonardo
But
down here.
yeah, no,
And,
I got myself mixed up. Sorry.
Ideogram. So now it would be nice if somebody came to this web page. This is a continually evolving list. Let's do our trick.
We
See
probably
what
ought
we
to
get.
throw, we probably ought to
What-
throw Gemini in under the LLMs.
Yes, thank you.
Pretty big one.
Okay, well, that was interesting. I should have, GPT said, I think he's gonna say companies. I think that's what he's gonna say. Thanks. That was an interesting experiment, interesting failure.
Well, you could just paste in Kyle's list here, right?
We could. I'll go look at his list, or maybe somebody else will help me with this list. Scott, are you volunteering to help maintain this page?
I would like to learn how
And
to do this. So yes,
okay,
we do have a few more we could throw in there. I know that I think it's RJ's favorite is Pi.
oh, good point.
Yay, I really like Pi. Pi is like, it's so nice to be able to collaborate, because like normally all of us are on our own doing our projects, but suddenly you have this instant collaborator with you, and that
Yeah.
gets your mind really going because it feeds you ideas, and just the process of chatting things out makes your mind much more productive in solving problems all on, they're your own solutions usually, but it just talking it out helps. And also it does tend to, the AIs do tend to spur thinking that you knew about, but it just sort of remind you that you already knew it, because it knows it knows what you probably should know anyway.
Yep.
Absolutely. And can I add, RJ, that I know you really like Pi, and I just want to say Pi really likes you.
Um, I'm gonna see how this looks. So we'll wait and reload here for a sec. So it just changed. The date just, or the time just changed. So let's look at this in a little bit better aspect ratio. So now you'll see the navigation is changed over here. And there's a page. This is, I would call this a markdown bug. So my markdown isn't quite right, and Obsidian didn't care, and the website generator does care. But there you go. So so the answer to your question, Scott, could we have a section on the website is yes, and now we have one. And it's a little bit broken, and Scott and I will continue to fix this offline. You'll see here I've made one change. I put an underscore there to fix that. This is italic, so there's needs to be underscores on both sides. Now I can finally say Obsidian will show you what changed if you make a small change or a big medium change or whatever. So yellow is changed, I guess, and green is the new thing. And then it's bright green where I actually made the change. Fixed italics. Save to the web. Okay. So let's talk about getting images into Midjourney a little bit. And to do that, let me go to Roger asked that question and gave him an earful of an answer or screenfuls of an answer. So I guess different ways to do this, but let's do this. Actually, I don't know if this is a good way to do it. It's okay. Different way to do it. He asked in a weird place. He asked in help. Is that right? This is sorted a weird way.
You have it sorted by top posts, so the
thanks.
most popular, yeah, yep.
So it wasn't in. Let me try Roger's. Is this Roger? Let me try his activity. I wonder if I could search in activity. That would be useful. Here it is here. Okay. So there's the Discord answer, there's the web answer, and then Roger ended up in a kind of an easy thing that gets easy thing to get caught in. So let's do the, so let me grab this URL so we can find it again. And put it here. And if I were better at my personal knowledge management, I would have, as soon as I posted that, I would have grabbed the link and put it somewhere in probably actually in the AI 101 website, but I could have put it in my personal notes too, and would have found it faster. So that's why you keep a notebook like Obsidian. Uploading images to Midjourney. Okay, this is an ugly link, but at least I can come back later and fix it up. So just looking at that was enough to kind of like get me oriented. We won't go back. Well, I'll probably go back and copy and paste those notes, but it'll be easier to show it. So the trick is that let me find an image that's maybe this is a better way to do it. Or yeah, this is a good image here. Or maybe this one. So the general trick is to, let me, I'm using a trick here. I'm putting in the chat. This is the time when I'm going to start talking about it. So then I can go to the recording and make a, make a chapter in YouTube or something like that, or clip it out. So we wanted to look at how to upload an image to Midjourney, and there's a couple different ways. Let's start with Discord. This is the Discord app on a Mac. And the general idea is you want to put the image into a chat and then use the URL of that image. So you might know that you can do a plus. I could do this and go find it on my computer. An easier way is just to drag and drop it. Plus is probably easier on mobile. So now it's easy to get stuck here thinking, well, now I've got this image in Discord. What do I do now? The trick is what you've done is you've uploaded this to a draft message, and you need to send the message before you can do anything with it. If you've uploaded the wrong one, you could delete it and upload a different one or something like that. So to send this message, all you need to do is hit return. You could type something, hit return, but whatever. So now it's in a place where you can actually get what you want. So you can say, imagine. Say I just wanted to use this as a blend. I can actually just drag this over the text box and drag it over the text box, drop it, and hit return, and it sends it. So I typed test and then dragged that image over, and then it turned into this shorter image. This part here is my suffix. And you can see it's generating. Let me do that again. And a thing to note, if I just drag that image over and hit return, I don't have any prompt. And so it says version 6 you can't use with just a single image prompt. So let's bring this one over too. And remember, I drag it over and then I send this message. I can either have text here or not. I'm gonna, well, yeah, text. It doesn't matter if you put text or not. Basically what you're doing is you're sending a DM to Midjourney bot. It doesn't care what you said. It cares, and the image just shows up in your DMs, and then you can grab it. What I was going to do is I can do a blend by saying imagine and drag this prompt and put a space. That's very important. And then I can drag this prompt. And now I've got two image URLs here. It's really hard to see what's going on, but I do. So I'll hit return, and it's going to blend this guy and this abstract. Both times you'll see that both times you saw that the URL was really long and junky looking. Am I doing something wrong? I think I didn't have it selected. Oh, I wasn't saying imagine. Both of those are really long and junky. And then it turns short. You can actually grab these and use it. So I know that this is the guy and this is the abstract. There's that abstract guy blend coming in. I copied this URL. Let me do it again. I copied it as text. I wonder, I could also do this. Let me do this, copy that. And then I guess I well, I forget if I paste it out or anyway, I hit Command C, Control C up there, and then I can do Command C, Control V down here. So that will work just the same way. So this is the prompt, a beautiful painting, and that abstract URL. Okay, some wrinkles on this. A different way to do it, instead of that drag thing, and that drag thing would be really hard on mobile. A different thing to do is to right click on it, and then you can say copy link on your computer. Still ugly, but that's okay. On mobile, you long press on it instead of right clicking, and then you, instead of saying copy link, you do copy media link. So again, the main thing to avoid is to, the main thing to avoid is having it in the state where it looks like it's going to work, but it's not going to work. When you drag it in, you have to send that message before you can grab the URL. Mobile is similar, not very much different. Let's do the same thing on the alpha interface. I don't know how this alpha interface works, but I mean, I know how the interface works. I don't know how they're rolling it out. I'm one of the people that has more than 1,000 images or more than 10,000 images or something. I'm in some class where they want me to use the alpha. I can't get to the regular interface anymore. The regular interface for me is the alpha. So here, it's a lot easier. I don't know that I can demo it super quick because it's been a while. But here, typically, you can just say use the image. So instead of doing all that weird, drag and drop and upload an image and stuff like that, you just go to an image you like and you say use it, and it pops it up here along with the prompt. And then there's the way that you can pick whether it's just the image or a style ref or a character ref is right here. So you can pick which one it is that way. And I think I can pick more than one if I do plus, yeah. Let's see what this does. And I'm going to make sure that this is on fast. And to make that send, I'm just hitting return. So this is what it's doing while it's generating those. And you'll see that one has all three selected. This one is just a blend, just an image upload. These are super fancy too. You can, so the alpha has, this is the equivalent of my images. And then it also has this new thing, and now it's called archive instead of my images. It's got this new thing called create, which is you can use the imagine thing for, and you can still get a lot of the same controls. If I want to use this prompt again, or even do things like copy a seed, or I can say use from here, super fancy. All these things work on mobile too. An interesting thing is when you're using an image, let me get back to that violin again. If I say use image, this selection thing works on mobile, but you have to long press it or something like that. You have to like hold down on this area to get it to be able to change. It doesn't pop up like this because you don't have a mouse. So then I also skipped, let's go back to Discord real quick. I skipped the, how do I use that image upload for a style ref or an image ref. And in Discord, you use, instead of the buttons, you use the dash dash cref or dash dash sref. So I would use the same trick to get the URL here, drag and drop that there, or copy and paste this. And with cref, you should always think about your cref weight, dash dash cw. 100 means use the clothes and the face and the hair, and more like 0 means just concentrate on the face and the hair. These probably would have been better if I did CW10, but whatever. Style ref is the same way, of course. Just S instead of C. And there you go.
Thank you.
Is that helpful?
I think
Maybe-
so. I've been watching. I have to go try it now.
Okay. Later it'll be on YouTube, for better or for worse.
Yay.
Yay. This one is cool. I don't know where I came up with that, but this is cool. This is really interesting. The violin disappeared.
Pete, have you put any of these into Runway?
I have not. We've got 7 minutes. Do you want to download one of these and try it for you,
It just
on your machine?
my experience is that sometimes it's kind of fun. I'm looking at the musical instruments as an example.
Yeah, this would be a
That
good
one right there in particular, I would be curious what it would do with it. It doesn't add motion, like they're not going to start playing the strings, but sometimes it's kind of fun to see. I just was curious.
I have not tried it. I'll post this to the channel and let folks do whatever they want with it.
I've been playing with Runway today and managed to get a photo of a doll to blink its eyes, but every other image that I worked with, since I have no clue what I'm doing, like they distorted into scary looking demonic. The cat's face went out its butt. It was
It's kind of scary, kind of creepy.
it was a little scary.
Claire,
Oh,
are
hey.
you using
Yeah. Go ahead.
Are you using any of the tools yourself, or are you letting the AI just play with it on its own?
I had no clue I could just let it play on its own. This was all me.
Yeah.
So let
Yeah,
me.
you could
I'm
just
gonna see
you
what
can just
what
ask it to
can do.
generate something. Yeah, you can ask it to just
Oh.
generate something, and it will.
Okay.
And those tend not to have exploding heads on animals and things like that. It's more when you try to control the things, and you my experience is that if you make the jumps too big, the bigger, like you ask it to move or pan or to any of those kinds of things, if you try to go a long ways, things get really wild.
Very.
Not
Thank you.
Yeah, not in a good way. No problem.
I'll play with Runway a bit. I don't know if I'll show anything, but anything else? We've been doing. We could talk about character reference, but maybe that's more than a few minutes. Character ref is a lot of fun. Oh, actually, I guess I have a bunch of stuff that I didn't upload yet. This I think is going to be. I think she's going to be called Katie. I decided to use a person. I don't really like the way she looks, but whatever. But the cooler one was these guys. I started with, I guess it started with this guy,
Mhm.
and this is just a randomly generated thing. And so using Claire's dot prompt and dot as a character reference, I got this one, which I really liked. And then I did something without even really realizing it. I started using one of the fish as a character reference. I guess I can just click on one of these. So that's got that as a character reference. But then a little bit later, maybe a lot later, I guess, I used one of the fish as a character reference instead. So I realized you can take a character, a reference image, generate stuff with it, and then use one of those as a reference to keep going.
Cool.
So these are a few deep. Some of them are ugly, but some of them are pretty cool.
Like a blend of a blend of a blend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's a bit of an art to, deciding what would make a good, this is probably the ref I picked. So you have to, character references, I'm actually really surprised it's so good with cartoony characters. It does it really well. I thought it would just be people, but so you have to pick a human or a cartoon or whatever. Make sure it's got a good face and it's well lit and stuff like that. And I think that's part of the trick. But then it does a good job.
I looked at those images, the cartoon ones in particular today, and I was like, how can you not like stop dead in your tracks and say, okay, well, we need to write a book because clearly all of these guys are characters from some story.
Yeah, I had that experience too. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be wild when, when, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people are making their own characters like this. And I don't know where that goes, but. Well, folks, thanks for the ride. Scott, I'll DM you and we'll set up some time to dig a little bit more into editing the website. And anything else?
Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana. Tomorrow morning.
Thanks.
Everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.